Hi, my name is Lina Maldonado and this is my English Final Course project. This video is going to be divided in two parts. In the first part, I'm going to talk about a picture whose image corresponds to a specific moment in history and his main character. Also, it's very important to mention the value of this picture for the whole world and how it changed our perspective as humankind. Then, in the second part of the video, I'm going to talk about my favorite photo and some details about it. Also, I'm going to talk about why I chose it and why is it so special for me. So, let's begin. The picture that I chose is the one that shows the first man landing on the moon in 1969. In this photo, most of the people only see Neil Armstrong standing on the moon, but there are two men and Neil Armstrong is not the protagonist. Actually, the main character is Edwin Aldrin. That was one partner of Armstrong in the Apollo 11 mission, and Neil Armstrong is the one that is taking the photo, and you can see him through the glass of his helmet. Now I'm going to talk about Neil Armstrong's life because he is one of the most important astronauts of the world. Neil Armstrong was born in Wacaponeta, Ohio on 1930 and died on Cincinnati, Ohio in 2012. He began to be interested in airplanes when he was 6 years old, and he also was fascinated with the outer space because he played with one telescope with his neighbor and dreamed about the unknown world. Then, when he was 16 years old, he became a pilot and studied aeronautics. He went to the Indiana Purdue University with a scholarship with the Navy and then worked with them, and he was the youngest man in the squadron. Then he went to the Korea Civil War, and when he came back, he studied a degree and started to work in the NASA. Neil Armstrong joined the astronaut program in 1962 and he became the first non-military astronaut in the NASA. He worked in a lot of missions to train himself for the most important mission for the NASA in 1969, the Apollo 11 mission. He was the commander of the mission, and this meant to him that he was the first man walking on the moon. On 20 of July of 1969, when he first walked, he said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." So all the world was listening, and this quote changed all the perspective of how we understand the humankind on the earth. Since this moment of the history, the human felt more powerful and made it clear that nothing was impossible. Okay, let's continue with the second part of this video, when I talk about my favorite photo. My favorite photo is the kiss, that which portrays a US sailor holding and kissing a stranger woman wearing a white dress during the victory over Japan in Times Square in New York City. The author of the kiss is Alfred Eisenstadt. He was born on 1898 in Poland. Since he was little, he was very passionate about photography and he decided to learn by himself. He first started as a photojournalist in Berlin. Then he specialized in doing portraits to very famous people in Germany. Because he was a Jew, he had to run away from Germany and went to the United States, where he had the opportunity to work in Life magazine and where he had the opportunity to take the photo of the kiss in the VJ Day celebration. This photo became the cover of the Life magazine and it became very famous, and he started to be recognized because his picture has a very large symbolic value. This picture has a lot of history value because it summed up the euphoria that the Americans felt after the end of the Second World War. One art critic had a reflection about this photo and said that the sailor represented the returning troops, the lady, those who would welcome them, and New York, the home. It is very curious that the subjects on the picture are not identified, and because of the faces are not very clear in this picture, a lot of people have claimed to be the subjects. Okay, personally, I think that this picture is a very romantic one. I think that it shows a lot of happiness that a lot of people lived when the world was over, and it talks about returning with their loved ones, and it reminds me how lucky I am to have my loved ones close. Okay, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you later. Bye.